Hello everybody, today we're going to be starting a brand new series called Presidential Alternate Histories, where we're not just going to do the election prediction, we're also going to be talking about what happens in between the current term of the elected president. So let's get started now. Now, there was a clear divide in the early days of elections. The South would typically go for the Democratic Republicans, and the North would typically go for the Federalists. That's how it typically went. So these early parts are going to be pretty easy. Georgia would be safe. South Carolina would be safe. Virginia, I honestly think, would be likely, considering how close it is to the north. Hold on, let's make this nice and pretty. Can't see that, but I can. It's annoying me. Maryland, I honestly think, would be tilt for George Clinton. Delaware, likely for Adams. New Jersey, Connecticut, these states, well, we can't really, let's go to that, because you can't do that. Massachusetts would be safe. He's from Massachusetts. These states are pretty patriotic. Pennsylvania would be tilt, and New Hampshire would be likely, or, excuse me, safe. So, here's the final result. John Adams beats George Clinton 41-28. Not really much to talk about here, but it was clear that the North had a pretty good hold of electoral votes. So this is why the Federalists won. But anyway, let's take a look at what Adams did as president in his first. Now, this is President Adams' first term. What you see in gray is what George Washington did, or the president during this time in our timeline. In the red, you see the changes that were made because now that Adams is president. Now, of course, in 1790, the U.S. patent system is still adapted. Adams does not change anything in 1790. The Resident Act of 1790 is passed, and the U.S. States Revenue Cutter System service is still established. So, there's that. Nothing really changes there. However, in 1791, you get two big changes. We're pretty much, well, kind of. Vermont is still established as a state. Washington, D.C. is established, but is named after General Washington, not John Adams. They named it after the president in our timeline. I think they would try to call it Adams, D.C., but I think John Adams would step in and try to name it after the man who gave America what it is today. So, which is why I still think that in this timeline, it would still be called the Washington, D.C. The Bill of Rights is still ratified in this timeline because that's what almost every body in America wanted. But in this timeline, John Adams successfully gets the Alien Sedition Acts passed. So there is that. That's something that a lot of people are not going to like coming his next election. Next, 1792, the final year before the election, of course, we have the Postal Service Act. That passes. The Coinage Act still passes. Kentucky is still established as a 15th state. And our affairs with other countries is better because John Adams is a lot better with having domestic affairs with other country than George Washington. He's better at talking, just to say. He's better at politics. So that is everything to do. Hopefully this will be longer as the series progresses, especially as we start getting more and more states. As you can see here, that's what it is. But anyway, guys, this is the Catic One saying,